He's Jalen Rose. I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we do, Jalen?
We give the people what they want.
The Cowboys mounted a miraculous comeback. The Patriots and the Seahawks once again come down to the 1-yard line. But we start in the bubble with the NBA, where Anthony Davis gets the ball from the inbound pass from Rondo, rises up from three to give the Lakers a 2-0 lead over the Nuggets. Jalen, what did you think of this final play?
I think the Denver Nuggets had a lineup on the court for the first time all season and failed to communicate, and it cost them a basketball game. You strictly have Plumlee in the game to stick to Anthony Davis's hip and not give him that much space to get a shot off. Also, if you're the Lakers, hindsight is always 20/20. And if Anthony Davis misses that shot, we're criticizing Vogel. We're criticizing LeBron because LeBron really wasn't scoring since the first half. AD scored all of the Lakers' points basically down the stretch, and so did Joker. And so it was an amazing shot for a young player who now gets a chance to play on the biggest stage. This is why he joined LeBron James in LA, to put himself in position to be a champion. They're going to win it this year, so now we always might as well just get our storylines ready.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the Joker's performance at the end of that game, because I want to say a couple things about that defense. Number one, Plumlee clearly expected a switch to happen with Grant if they set a screen, but Grant was like, bro, there was no screen set, so why don't you just cover your man? But Jokic actually came out and got a really good contest on that three. And as you mentioned, Jokic was absolutely excellent in the fourth quarter, especially down the stretch. There was that one possession, which I know that you saw, where he just backed into Davis, and took a little Jacoby-ish, little like a right hand. This one right here. Just look at that. He's just backing into him, turning into a little baby look at the rim, which would have won them the game had Anthony Davis not made that shot. But he did. And here we are with the Lakers with a commanding 2-0 lead over the Nuggets. You mentioned LeBron James, who was so good in the first half, but kind of disappeared in the second half. What happened there?
The Nuggets did a great job of defending them. And when you're in your 17th year, Jacoby, I'm noticing that LeBron picks and chooses his spot. Either it's a quarter, either it's a half, either it's a handful of minutes. He understands what the Lakers need when they need it, and he's able to turn it on, in particular scoring the basketball. But he also knows Anthony Davis is going to have to be the difference maker. When the Lakers win the championship this year, he's going to be the finals MVP, Anthony Davis.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We do have some video that we need to break down in detail. It's time to go to the table. Not only did Anthony Davis hit the game-winning shot from three in Jokic's face to take the lead, afterwards, as you will see right here as we go to the table to review the video, he yells Kobe, jumps up, and then completely bodies THT. He totally took out Horton Tucker in the celebration. Look at this angle right here. Bang! Took him out. Jalen, what do you think about his taking out of THT?
It was hilarious, and it was great to watch the Lakers celebrate that moment because, again, if you're the Denver Nuggets, Jacoby, you actually want Anthony Davis taking that shot, but you want Plumlee to be on him and to contest it. Trust me, if he misses that shot, the only thing we talking about today is LeBron James second half and Frank Vogel calling up a play for Anthony Davis to shoot a three late in the basketball game when they were losing. Anthony Davis was terrific by making that shot. He bailed out the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, Jalen, Zerline of the Cowboys bailed out every Cowboy fan and the entire franchise when it came down to an improbable onside kick, which is even harder to convert now. The spinning top that took a right turn at the end to get to 10 yards, to get them the game, to get them the ball, to get them this kick that got them the win. What did you think about this finish? Between the
Lack
Falcons
of
and
attention to
Cowboys?
detail. We just said the exact same thing with the Denver Nuggets. They had a lineup out there that wasn't on the court together the entire season. Plumlee, attention to detail, didn't stay on Anthony Davis's hip. Atlanta Falcons, you can jump on the football. You don't have to wait for it to go 10 yards. What are y'all doing? Y'all on special teams. Therefore, when the ball is kicked, you don't have to wait to jump on it. I don't understand how this happens in the NFL on a Sunday where people are getting paid millions of dollars to play football, Jacoby. They gave the Dallas Cowboys that game. It was exciting, 40-39. Matt Ryan throwing touchdowns. Dak Prescott rushing for touchdowns, throwing for 450. But if you're the Falcons, you must close the deal, and they didn't do it.
Jalen, I'm going to go the other way and be a contrarian. I totally understand why the Falcons didn't jump on the ball. It did not look like it was going 10 yards. And if you botch it and then it becomes a live ball and you could lose the game for your team, it didn't look like it was going 10 until at the very end when it just took a curve and you could see the panic in all of their body language. They're like, oh, wow, we really messed this one up. You can see it in all of them when they realized it was going to go 10 yards. It was really just a really, really great kick. One of the best onside kicks I've ever seen.
It was.
No tee, spinning top. I've never seen anything like it before. But I do want to celebrate
Free
not
agent
just
acquisition.
their line.
Free agent acquisition, that kicker.
But Dak has a lot of money at stake every time he takes the field. And after they lost last week, and I chalked this up as a loss before the miraculous comeback, what did you see from Dak, who led this team to get to the position where they got that kick?
Poise, and you highlighted it last week when you acknowledged quarterbacks rushing the football and or getting rushing touchdowns. That was a difference to me. Dak's ability to find pay dirt when he needed it the most. And for him to continue to throw over 400 yards, CD Lamb over 100, Cooper over 100. That's what you're going to expect from the Dallas Cowboys on a weekly basis.
Jalen, you talking about rushing quarterbacks hitting pay dirt. Cam Newton has done it for so many years, and he needed to do it just one more time against the Seahawks. It came down to the 1 yard line, as it has between these two teams previously. He scored on a run to the left from the one earlier in the game. They had a lot of options from the one. They'd already scored from the one 3 times, and it looked like the Seahawks saw this coming and blew up the play. What do you think of the play call? What do you think of the play?
I didn't think it was a creative play call. Not too many people are going to say that into a microphone when you talk about Josh McDaniels and you talk about Bill Belichick. But Cam was throwing the football all over the lot. And we know, as you mentioned, that he has the ability to find pay dirt with the best of them as a quarterback. But the Seattle Seahawks saw that play coming. And they stuffed it at the goal line, Jacoby. So that's truly what I felt. And also, let me just say this about Russell Wilson. Because a lot of times we talk about who's the best. No, sorry, I lied. He's number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 top quarterback in the NFL. Right there, Russell Wilson. And let me name something that happened yesterday that you're going to appreciate that all of these gentlemen have in common. Metcalf, Lockett, Moore, Carson, and Swain. You know what they all have in common? They caught touchdowns for Russell Wilson yesterday. Because he threw 5 of them. He threw 5 of them.
Hold on, Jalen. Are you trying to tell me Russell Wilson is a better NFL quarterback than Patrick Mahomes? Is that what you're telling me into a microphone in front of a camera?
Yes.
Are you trying to tell me that Russell Wilson is a better NFL quarterback than Lamar Jackson? Is that what you're saying into a microphone in front of a camera?
Yes. I think he's a
disagree
more
with you
polished
on both of those.
version passing than Lamar. I think he's more seasoned under center than Mahomes. If you put Russell Wilson on the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't think they go to overtime playing against the Chargers. I really don't believe that they do.
Well, we will get to that game and my guy, Justin Herbert, later. I call him Herbert because, French pronunciation. But, Jalen, this is ESPN. But every Monday, this is also going to be the Cardinals News Network. Because you say that you're such a diehard Lions fan, but the Lions are so bad that we both adopted the Cardinals this year. And you want to know the reason why? Because of play like this from Kyler Murray. Look at Murray go. What did you see from the second-year quarterback?
All I see every time Kyler Murray slings the football is, why didn't the Lions draft Tua? I swear, that's all I see.
Not about the Lions. Cardinals News Network.
Correct. We're going to own as a national television show giving love to the Cardinals because everybody going to talk about the Cowboys. Everybody going to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Everybody going to talk about the Steelers. Everybody going to talk about the Patriots. But that's our squad. And our guy, DeAndre Hopkins, You know what he did yesterday? He caught 8 more footballs, Jacoby. He caught 8 more footballs. And he caught a touchdown. 14 and 8. That's 22, which means he's averaging 11 catches per game so far this year. 11 catches per game. How about that?
The math work from Jalen Rose. Oh, I love it. And Kyler Murray we saw him run all over the field in college, and you remember the draft, and he's going to play baseball. You can't pick him number 1. He's too short. Doug Flutie's the only successful quarterback at his height. I didn't think he would be able to run in the NFL the way that he would in college. And yesterday's game, he had some fantastic touchdowns run. I think they're both over 20 yards. Salute to Kyler Murray. Salute to Cliff Kingsbury. Salute to our guy.
And by the way, can I say
Hopkins.
one more thing as we introduce the world to our Cardinals? There isn't a person that's more of a gentleman than Larry Fitzgerald. There isn't more of a gentleman than Larry Fitzgerald. He's the only guy that helps up everybody on each team. He's the only guy. He running around helping up defensive players, telling them nice hit. He's such a gentleman. Larry Fitzgerald for president. I was thinking about it watching the game. We saw Barack Obama do it. Our next black president should be Larry Fitzgerald.
Stick to sports. When we come back, we have so much more from NFL Sunday to give you. Stay tuned. You're watching Jalen. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. A lot of games to discuss from yesterday, so you will decide which ones we discuss. It's time to keep it moving.
Tag! Woo! Tag!
If you want to discuss the game, say hit the brakes. If not, me, you, and Method Man will keep it moving. We start with the Chargers taking the Super Bowl champion Chiefs into overtime. Keep moving, hit the brakes. Tyrod Taylor had a mysterious chest injury, which forced my new guy, Justin Herbert, who I'm calling Air Bear because he's not a Herb or a Bert, and he played great. They had an 11-point lead, and of course, Mahomes brought them all the way back. Jalen, more impressed with the Chargers or the Chiefs after this one?
I'm more impressed with the Chiefs because when you're the defending Super Bowl champion, you know what's going to happen every Sunday? People are going to use you as a measuring stick. And while we're going to celebrate the Chiefs and we're going to give them not 5, not 6, not 7 championships once Mahomes signed a $500 million deal, the other NFL teams are going to show up to play. And as long as you got a Bosa on your defensive line, he's going to get sacks. And so they're going to apply pressure. And the Chargers did a terrific job of extending that game, as you mentioned, with their backup quarterback and getting it into overtime.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Herbert didn't get any first-team snaps all week long. It wasn't like a rookie quarterback that knew he was going to start. He found out he was starting minutes before the game and played absolutely great. Salute to him. And, man, they should have stopped Mahomes on that 3rd and 20. Moving on. The Detroit Lions played a professional football game yesterday.
Meow.
Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
What is going on with the Lions? They're so bad. I told you that the Packers would put up 40. Aaron Jones had 168 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown. What is happening with your franchise?
So I normally don't do this. But I need to go off on my team for a minute. I'm a frustrated fan right now, dog. Let me tell you something. You know there is no direction when you draft 2 running backs, Kerryon Johnson and Swift, yet you bring in a future Hall of Famer and Adrian Peterson on a 1-year deal, and he's getting as many, if not more, carries than them. Just think about that for a second. Number 1. Number 2, I said we should have drafted Tua. Jacoby, you and I joked about this. The Detroit Lions had a card, and I'm pretty sure when they walked it up to the podium, it said quarterback, but they got it confused and took a cornerback. Only the Lions will pay Matt Stafford top dollar to win 6 games this year.
So
free Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford.
Free Detroit from the tyranny of the Lions
losing. Put him in a situation to where you trade him and get value for him, take his salary off the books, and draft Tua. I don't understand. I love Jeff Okuda. I know he's a great cornerback, but we just had an all-pro cornerback that we didn't decide. We didn't re-sign Big Play Slay. If you wanted to lock down the corners, keep Slay, get Okuda, and be locked down. Don't let Slay leave and drop the corner. Oh, man, it's just so frustrating, Jacoby. It's so frustrating.
They've lost 11 straight games, yet Matt Patricia is still employed. He will have a long, successful career as a defensive coordinator, but he obviously is not the head coach for this franchise. Moving on, my new team, the Buffalo Bills, continue their winning.
Hit the brakes.
Keep moving or hit the brakes. Josh Allen, over 400 yards, 4 touchdowns against a weak Dolphins team. Do you think the Bills are a legitimate threat in the AFC?
I do, and they can win their division. But here's what I want to say. Hey, Minnesota, did you see Stephon Diggs yesterday?
Yeah.
You can use him.
Oh,
because Cousins threw 3 interceptions. When you have a quarterback, you're supposed to be getting them weapons, not taking them away. And so for Allen, who's a dual threat player in Buffalo, that squad continues to show promise. That was a really good win, even though the Dolphins are going to have a long season.
Ravens and Texans not as competitive as I expected. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Keep it moving. Shout to Humphreys. Shout to Peters. My guys making plays yesterday for the Ravens.
We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
The Eagles are really
hit the brakes on this
bad through 2.
Hit the brakes on this one.
Jared Goff and the Rams go 2-0, but this feels to me like it's more about Carson Wentz poor play through 2 weeks. What do you think of the Eagles?
I think Carson Wentz shows up at work each week and he sees a statue outside of the building of Doug Peterson and Nick Foles celebrating because they won the Super Bowl together. That's hard to live up to, fam. They're doing whatever they can to build around Carson Wentz. They're moving Peters from right side to the left side. They drafting a Jalen in the first round. They got Deshaun back. They're trying to do everything they can to support Carson Wentz, and he's really struggling, Jacoby. They're 0-2. And usually when you drop to 0-2, you don't make the playoffs. That's not going to sit well in Philadelphia if this continues.
Well, this will continue. However, they are in the worst division in football, so they may still make the playoffs. We'll keep an eye on the Cowboys and see what they can do. Jalen, Tom Brady did something he has never done before yesterday. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
He got a win with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Brett Favre in the stands watching. Jalen, Fournette had a big run at the end. What did you think of Tom Brady and Tampa?
I told you that Leonard Fournette was going to be the key to this team. Jones, productive running back. McCoy, productive catching yesterday. But now they got a bell cow. And that's going to be Tom Brady's best friend throughout these dog days. Turn around, hand the football off to Leonard Fournette. Okay? Godwin didn't play. Evans was making plays. Hand the football off to Fournette during the regular season. He had 2 touchdowns yesterday. He's going to be Tom Brady's best friend.
Tom Brady got his first win with the Buccaneers. Patriots Seahawks goes down to the last second. Miraculous comeback from the Cowboys, but none of those were the most impactful thing that happened this NFL weekend. We'll tell you what that is on television, but make sure you subscribe to our podcast. We always have exclusive content every single day just for our podcast listeners. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, we had such a fantastic weekend of action in the NFL, but it did come at a cost. In week 2 alone, we lost a long list of star players to injury. Jalen, do you think this is a function of no preseason games, shortened training camp, or is it just bad luck?
No, football is a physical sport, and each season this happens, Jacoby. It's just that when they're notable running backs on their rookie deals that are 3-down bell cows like Saquon Barkley, who's out for the year with a torn ACL, and Christian McCaffrey out several weeks with an ankle injury, that's what makes you look at the fortunes of their teams and be like, basically their seasons are over. So like after 2 weeks, you lose an important player like that, and all of a sudden it seems like their goals, their opportunity to achieve their goals will not happen without those 2 guys being healthy for the season and or for several weeks in McCaffrey's case.
And the 49ers were absolutely decimated yesterday in their games, and losing Garoppolo and Bosa and others. It's just been such a bad day of injuries. It's so hard to see. And not only do I wish all of those players healthy, speedy recovery, but also I wish their fantasy owners condolences as well. I know I picked Saquon Barkley first, and now I'm in trouble. Jalen, you have a special message to finish the show today. What is that?
Rest in peace to Mary Bell Hicks. My family lost Grammy at 103 years of age. I just want to celebrate her legacy. She did a terrific job of being the leader and the matriarch of our family, and we're forever grateful that she was our leader. Heaven garnered an angel, literally Jacoby, in my grandmother.
Jalen, this is not just a show, but it's also a family. So on behalf of myself and the entire staff of Jalen and Jacoby, we wish you and your family condolences, thoughts, and prayers. We'll be back tomorrow on ESPN at 2.